come together in love and light. Understanding and knowing there's one power in the universe, one universal intelligence that goes by many names. That intelligence is life itself. It is the air we breathe. It is the energy that has our blood flow through our veins. It is around us. It is in us. It is us. There is no separation. This morning as we come together understanding and knowing that we are connected to each other and we are connected to every living species on this planet. And understanding and knowing this, we also know that the energy of love is that which holds us firmly together. Whether we understand that or know that in our consciousness, it does not matter, for that is the truth. I speak my word this morning knowing that this service is a powerful energy place going out into the universe, bringing healing and peace to each and every individual standing in a place that might be in need. I know that those of us who are here today are powerfully standing in a place of love and light. I know that the service has already happened. It's already created the synergy that we require to live in the gardens that we know to be our consciousness. I send these words out, and as I send them out, I know they will not come back to me. They will not be returned, for they are taken on the wings of that universal intelligence. I simply anchor these words knowing that all is good, all is well, and we are standing in a place of peace right here, right now. And I invite you to anchor these words with me by simply saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Ahmondra. Let's give a big thank you to our fabulous musicians in the stage. I'm Morgan McGregor, and it is my warm pleasure to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living in Carlsbad, where we understand that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. I love that. Let's repeat that. There's a power for good in the universe.
And we can use it.
Okay, greater than we are, and we can use it. As we begin, I would like to invite our friend Verla up to light our candles this morning, as we remind ourselves of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. We first light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life, and that life is our life now. Please affirm with me, I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens with each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity with that Christ consciousness. We are points of love within God's heart. Please affirm with me now, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. Please affirm with me now, I am light. And we allow our light to shine. We light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. Please affirm with me now, I am beauty. We light the candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. Each day we celebrate the joy of our own new birth in the God consciousness. We each bring our own brand of joy to the world. Please affirm with me now, I am joy. We light the candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. Please affirm with me now, I am peace. And finally, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within, as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles and abiding love. We have a few announcements to share. I want to offer a special welcome to anyone visiting for the first time today. We have a welcome packet out on the front table, and we invite you to make yourself at home. Join us for fellowship afterward, and please sign our guest book in the lobby. Every Sunday, we offer spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer as our gift to you. If you have a prayer request today, you can either speak to Reverend Ahmondra Mary or Dr. Maddie. Or you can fill out a written prayer request form and put it in the box out in the lobby. And our prayer team will do a prayer treatment for you this week. And please feel free to keep submitting your treatments until you see evidence of the manifestation. Other announcements. Reverend Maureen is hosting a spiritual aloha group on Zoom every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. She now lives in Waikiki. Here's the insert in your flyer about the information. Everyone's invited to join in, and if you need the Zoom link, that information is on this flyer. And this past Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we've scheduled our Michael Paul to give a presentation honoring Dr. King's life in words and music in February. And that'll be something to look forward to indeed. This is truly a community-based spiritual center, and it takes a team to keep it going. So recognizing some of the behind-the-scenes volunteers and helpers, they may not show up on stage, but they're still really important. Ruth Ann did the flowers today. Thank you, Ruth Ann. And Daryl Parker did our greeting. And Daryl and Johnny, stand up so we can see you. This is your third time here, is it? Okay. And make sure you talk to them afterwards. I learned last week that Johnny and I have a connection with Kokomo, Indiana. Johnny said, do you know anyone in Kokomo? His folks are in Kokomo. And I said, born and bred in Kokomo.
Oh my goodness.
Yay, small world, right? Treats. Well, today is Potluck Sunday. Yay. And I've seen, we already have a lot of goodies out there. Verla made a fabulous salad. She's our queen foodie. And we have other good stuff out there too. The lobby set up. Jim gets 2 thank yous for video and for setting up our lobby. Thank you, Jim. And these people are not behind the scenes. They're right in front of you, but a big thank you anyway. to Verla for candle lighting, and Jan Green is going to give our inspirational reading. So a big thank you to all of our volunteers. And speaking of volunteers, there's a volunteer sheet out here. And if you see any blanks that you think, oh, maybe I'll do that, feel free to sign in, and feel free to take the sheet around and recruit other volunteers. Okay, now it's time for the group reading inside your program. Does everyone have a program? God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am forever one with His perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. And so it is. And now we have another song by Tim. This is our group song. So please stand for our group song.
The Spirit is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, the Spirit is around us like a rainbow around the sun. The Spirit is around us, the Spirit is around us, the Spirit is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, love is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, love is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, love is around us, love is around us, love is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Peace, oh, peace is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, peace is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, peace is around us, peace is around us, peace is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, the Spirit is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Oh, the Spirit is around us like a rainbow around the sun. Here we go, yeah, the Spirit is around us, the Spirit is around us, the Spirit is around us like a rainbow around the sun.
Thank you, Tim. That was rousing, just what we needed. Now I'd like to invite Jan Green up to give us today's inspirational reading.
Morning. The reading is called Living in Your Spiritual Garden. There are more than 10 species of tumbleweeds. These plants fall into the category of wandering plants. The plant's root structure dies back and detaches from the ground, allowing the plant to be blown to a new location. Once in the new spot, the plant releases its seeds or spores, germinating where they are. The tumbleweed doesn't care where it lands. Its job is to find a new place to be and grow. And when its time in that location is done, it moves on to another fertile place to put down roots. Each move that Spirit has us make in our lives allows us to build new relationships and find new people to love and support. It doesn't matter where we go. If Spirit directs us to a new location, our job is to show up. Plant seeds of love, compassion, and kindness in our spiritual garden, which is our consciousness, and live abundantly.
And now to an event.
Sunrise, coloring the highway. Your eyes, sleeping in the sun. When you rise and listen for the song again, you're coming home. The wings have come. There's a shadow on the highway, and the wind sings, following the sun. When you ride and listen for the song again, you're coming out. The wings, they come. They're all waiting on the raven on the wind. There are wings, the raven on the wind, and tugging at your lifeline, calling you again. It's following the sunrise, and there's a slow train and picking like a drum. When you ride and you listen for the song again, you're gonna know the wings will come. Lifeline, they're calling you again. When you rise and you listen for the song again, you're gonna know the wings come. There are wings on the raven on the wind. There are wings, the raven on the wind, looking at your life. There are wings. There are wings. There are wings.
Thank you, Jen. That was beautiful. Unfortunately, I missed Dr. Ahmondra's presentation to us on Kwanzaa. However, on Friday, I was fortunate to pick up Ahmondra's presentation on Kwanzaa at the Life Lecture at Maricosta College. And we filled out comment sheets after each speaker. And I said about Dr. Ahmondra that she was charming, engaging, and knowledgeable. I could have added charismatic. So it is my honor and extreme pleasure to welcome Dr. Ahmondra McClendon to the podium.
Good morning, church.
Good morning.
That is weak. Good morning, church.
Good morning.
Okay, it's New Year's. Give me something. So it is my pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you so much for the music. Beautiful. So this is funny. So yesterday I called a friend who lives in D.C. and I was like, it's raining. Because he understands that it never rains in Southern California. I was so happy it was raining. And I'm happy it's raining today. So, like Morgan mentioned, the last Sunday of the year, I did a presentation on Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a celebration, a harvest celebration that occurs in Southern Africa. And it's all about being thankful for the harvest that they get from the gardens. You know, you plant crops all year and then you reap that harvest and they celebrate. Well, they were celebrating about a physical harvest, okay? Today, I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about cultivating a spiritual garden. So that's what my topic is today. Now, what I want you to really get clear in is that we all are living in a spiritual garden. And that spiritual garden is actually our consciousness. We are born into that spiritual garden. It's not somewhere we have to go find. We are born into it. And in that garden, it's filled with all manner of vegetation. Excuse me. And in the garden, everything that's growing, all the plants that are growing, they are plants we're familiar with. They're plants like good and true beauty, peace, power, love, happiness, joy, enthusiasm, universal harmony, and personal balance. And that garden is sustained by the waters of the presence of living God. Now, there's also a tree of knowledge in that garden. And we pick the fruit from that tree of knowledge, and we have the information we need to sustain us. Now, this is beginning to sound like a Garden of Eden over here. And in some forms, in some philosophies, it is called the Garden of Eden. But over here with me today, it's called our spiritual garden. There's also a tree of truth in this garden. It gives us the information, the true information that we need to navigate ourselves in this world. And the truth so that we can understand when we hear a false narrative, when somebody gives us something that's not that truth. Now, if you doubt that you're born in a spiritual garden, all you have to do is look at a newborn. When you look at that newborn baby, if their physical needs are met, they are living in their spiritual garden. Yesterday, I walked the beach. I try to walk it every day. And this lady, she was pushing this baby carriage. Not yesterday, it was raining yesterday, the day before. And she was pushing the baby, and I looked down, and this baby was in the garden, the spiritual garden, just like smiling and just laying there. without a care in the world. That's what we're born into. So what happens? What happens? Why do we feel like, I don't know if I'm living in a spiritual garden? What happens? So Ernest Holmes gives us a parable. I'm going to tell you. It's called a parable of the angel. So angel one day decided that they were going to leave their garden and they were going to go into another garden, a human garden, and check it out. So they wander into the human garden and they start seeing things happening in the garden. They see individuals, and these individuals aren't treating each other very nice. The angel's like, that's interesting. Then he keeps traveling, and then the angel gets a hold of a laptop. It actually said newspaper, but we know that's outdated. So I'm going to say laptop, okay? Goes on the internet and starts seeing some other stuff. Starts hearing about individuals having problems with finances. And the authorities saying that people don't have enough money, and some people are going to not have enough food, and they're going to starve. And the angel's starting to feel like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Now when the angels showed up in the human garden, they had on this angelic form, bright light, because they were living in this spiritual garden. Then the angel starts hearing that there's going to be an epidemic in the human garden, and millions of people are going to die. And the angel starts feeling kind of not light anymore, feeling heavy. And that bright light that was emanating from it started to dim. Shadows started to fall. Its form started to shrivel. One day, it looked down, and it was in human form. And the angel started to just feel sad, unhappy. All of those qualities that the angel was used to having were gone. And the angel found itself rooted in all of this sadness, unhappiness that was in this human garden. The angel wandered for years and years in this human garden, feeling anxiety, until the angel got to the place where he just wanted to be dead, just didn't want to be here anymore. But there was something inside pulling, tugging. And the angel started paying attention to that internal tug and stopped paying attention to all of this external noise. And as it listened and felt this internal tug, a slow determination started to grow, a determination to move away from those feelings of sadness and hurt. And hope began to grow. And as this hope began to grow, the angel then began to see a little light in the shadows that were surrounding it. And it gained the courage to walk towards that light, slowly. The closer the angel got to the light, the more empowered they became. The more their natural beings started to come back. The shadows started to fall away. And they found that they were back engulfed in light in their spiritual garden. So, the question that I put to us today, what is growing in your spiritual garden? Because it's what's growing in your spiritual garden that is giving you your life. Repeat that. What's growing in your spiritual garden is giving you your life. Because remember, your spiritual garden is your consciousness. So whatever's in that consciousness is giving you your life. So let's talk about this garden. That we all understand and know that seeds are transported in physical gardens, sometimes by the wind, sometimes by birds, the bees. They pick up the seed and they take it somewhere else, and it germinates and it grows. The same thing is occurring with us in our consciousness. But the wind is not the physical wind. It's energy. We live in a field of energy. And thoughts are our seeds. And we allow those thoughts that are just flying around in this energy called race consciousness, this huge field of thought that is surrounding us and dropping seeds in our gardens, and we allow them to germinate. There's a company all of us know, well, maybe most of us know, called Monsanto. Monsanto has patented certain seeds, okay? They've created this seed, and this seed is insect resistant. But they also came up with a way that, to put a patent around it, meaning that if the wind blows this seed into another farmer's field and happen to start growing, Monsanto can sue that farmer. Yeah, that's real. So let's look at our consciousness. So what happens when a Monsanto is standing next to you and they have a thought that's resistant to change? A thought that is of anger, a thought that is of sadness. And that thought gets carried on the energetic field and it drops in your garden and it begins to germinate. Thoughts are attached to feelings. So when that thought drops into your consciousness, it invokes a feeling in your physical being. And that thought, that thought that turns into a feeling that connects to your physical being gives you how you're doing. Now, if your consciousness is filled with a lot of seeds that came from Monsanto, and they are resistant to change, you may have a garden that has all these beautiful plants in it, but those plants are being choked by the weeds that are growing in that consciousness. So your consciousness, your spiritual garden is always there. It's always there. But we allow those other seeds to drop in our garden and take root. So what do? First, we take inventory of what's growing in the garden. Farmers just don't sit around and just let anything grow in the garden. They're always out there cultivating their gardens because they want to have a bountiful harvest. We have to do the same. We have to cultivate our spiritual gardens. We have to cultivate our consciousness. We have to be vigilant. If you are looking at something and you are hearing something, that's fine. Do not allow that seed to implant itself in your spiritual garden. And unfortunately, a lot of us are just not vigilant. And we just allow any old thing to come in, plant in the garden. We don't even realize that we have like weeds growing. We can't see anything because our garden is overgrown with things we don't want. And then we're like that angel, wandering and wandering and wandering, feeling bad, feeling sad. Now, one thing you should know, circumstances bring thoughts. You can't help that. If you're experiencing a feeling of grief, you're experiencing a feeling of grief. But that thought of grief does not have to put a seed that's going to plant itself and grow with deep roots and remain there forever. That's our responsibility to experience it, understand what it is, and then pull it out. Cultivate our consciousness. This year is a year of good fortune, the year of the dragon. Good fortune, prosperity, personal growth, and development. So the year is already set for us. That means the garden is already there. It's already, the cultivation is already begun. We got rain, we have sun. So what are you going to do? Are you going to sit on the porch and drink lemonade and just let any old seed drop into the garden and then complain when the garden is overgrown? Or get sad when you're feeling terrible? Or don't question why it is your life looks the way it looks? That's our responsibility. The tumbleweed. This is interesting. So our reading said that the tumbleweed, there's 10 different species. The tumbleweeds pull up their roots, the roots come into them, they blow wherever. Wherever they land, they put down seeds and they stay there. And they stay there so long, and then those roots die, and seeds go away, and they tumble off to somewhere else. If you have ever driven up Highway 5, you know tumbleweeds. Tumbleweeds are terrifying because they just fly. They try to put up a fence to stop them, but tumbleweeds just go wherever they go. We can be like tumbleweeds. Spirit, God, universal intelligence is always providing us with opportunities to go different places. But we're stuck. We don't want to move because we have all these weeds growing around us in our garden, and we just don't want to get up and move. Spirit's like, hey, go over there. Go over there. We're like, no, I'm stuck. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to suffer. Spirit's like, okay, if you go over there, you got something great happening. We have to begin to be like the tumbleweeds. When circumstances hit us, we're going to experience those circumstances. We're going to embrace those circumstances, but we're not going to allow those circumstances to ground us there. We're going to cultivate our spiritual garden. We have the opportunity to have anything that we want bloom in our gardens. There's a quote from Ernest Holmes. We plant the seed and the law produces the plant. We plant the seed. So what seed are you planting? Because once that seed is dropped in the ground, the law goes to work. And it's going to nourish it. So if you drop a seed of anger, the law goes to work. And that's what grows. So cultivate your spiritual gardens. Pay attention to what you're hearing. Do not allow yourself to go down that road where people are giving you false narratives. You have the tree growing in your spiritual garden of truth. It's there. Pick that fruit. Do not allow someone else to give you a piece of a Monsanto fruit. That's resistant to change. Pay attention. I want to end with this. So scientists, our scientists are getting smarter and smarter and creating more and more. So the scientists all were like, oh my God, we have created this amazing thing here. We don't need God anymore. So they go to God and they say, look, God, we don't need you anymore. And she says, all right, tell me what you got. And they're like, look, God, we created this amazing plant and it gives us everything and we don't need you. God's like, all right, show me. I want to see this. So the scientist reached down and grabbed some dirt. She was like, oh, excuse me, that's my dirt. That's my dirt. You got to make your own dirt. Okay? The point of that story is that everything in this universe that feeds us, that gives us substance, is from God, from spirit, from universal intelligence. I don't care how much we invent, we are rooted in a spiritual garden. And that garden comes from universal intelligence. We just simply have to grab onto it, understand what it is, and pay close attention to what you're allowing to grow in your spiritual garden. I add a blessing to each one of you and a blessing to these words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmondra.
You are welcome.
Well, it's time to tell the children that it's not about the war, that it's not about the winning, that it's not about the score. Oh, it's time to tell the children that it's not about the rings that we put upon the finger of the man who would be king. Time to tell the children that it's not about the gold, that it's not about the money, things that are bought and sold, that it's not about the things on the ring that we put upon the fingers of the man who would be king. Time to tell the children that it's not about the plan, that we put upon the finger of the man who would be king, who would be king. Tell the children that it's not about the plan to see who is the richest or the baddest in the land. Oh, it's time to tell the children that these don't mean a thing like the rings on the finger of the man who would be king. When you see the clues right before your eyes on the evening news, don't you realize what the children see is what the children know, is where the children go. And it's time to tell the children that it is about the heart, that it is about the people of this world we are part, that it is about forgiveness. stole the ring to put upon the fingers of the man who would be king, would be king. Oh, it's time to tell the children. Oh, it's time to tell the children. Oh, it's time to tell the children.
Thank you, Clint. So now it is our time to provide substance to Center for Spiritual Living in Carlsbad Spiritual Garden. And I want to say, you know, our community is making impact all over the world. Right now, Reverend Lori is on a flight to India, where I don't know how many wells Reverend Lori has organized in India so that individual villages can have fresh drinking water. Reverend Kate is in Guatemala, and she's with her group, and they're looking at a school that they built in Guatemala. Excuse me. And I make microloans through an organization called Kiva. And Kiva gives people loans all over the world so that they can have projects. I just gave a microloan the other day to a gentleman in Ghana where I lived for a year, and he wanted $500 so that he could have an internet service in his neighborhood so that everybody in the neighborhood can come there and use internet for free. And so people are giving like $5, $10, $20, $25 microloans, and they pay them back. So we are making a major impact in this world. I just wanted our community to understand that. So as you come up and we are blessing this community, just know that this community is blessing the world at large. And we have our song that Tim is going to lead us in.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
So now that we're going to close our service for today, but I want to remind you about Reverend Maureen and her Wednesday Zoom meeting to join that. And if you would stand with me as I do the closing treatment and we do our closing song. Am I missing something? Okay, people are looking at me like I'm missing something. Oh, okay, well, then you can sit down and I'll treat, or you can stand up and I'll treat. I'm going to treat you. Let us take a deep breath together. Let it out. Understanding and knowing that the breath connects us. There is a power that is within us. That power is connecting us to the world. And this day, we've come together and we've allowed our consciousness to unite into one large garden, filled with love, filled with hope, filled with determination, and filled with courage. As we leave this place today, we leave understanding and knowing we are making a major impact in this world. And that this service this morning has sent out energy into this world and united with other energies in the race consciousness and made a major impact. We are mighty. We are capable. And standing here together, we are strong in our consciousness. We are being watered by the living consciousness of God, of Spirit. I send this out, and we bless each other, and we bless all of those, wherever they may be, in whatever circumstances they may be in right here, right now. Those members who were not able to be with us today, we send love out to them, understanding and knowing that they are wrapped in blessings from each and every one of us. As I release these words into the universe, I release them knowing that they are powerful, knowing that they are impacting us today and moving forward into the week. That our weeks are going to be filled with blessings as we stand powerfully in our spiritual gardens and our consciousness. I ask you to anchor these words with me by saying, and so it is.